Welcome, sports fans, to the Sports with Ed College Recap Show. In this episode, I'm going to recap the Wolverines game against the Golden Gophers last week, as well as the Spartans game against Rutgers from last week. Also, I will preview their game against each other, which will be tomorrow. Let's start out with the Spartans in this segment, and then the next segment I'll talk about the Wolverines game. The Spartans have a new head coach in Mel Tucker, who took over from MarkD'Anotonio, who resigned last year after having been the Spartans' longest tenured head coach. Kind of something what happened. I mean, tough way to start when you have a pandemic season. However, for the Spartans to turn the ball over 4 times in the first half and have 7 turnovers for the first time in a game since 1981, which actually was a victory against the Golden Gophers, if you can believe it, is just really something. And of course, at halftime, because of the 4 turnovers, they were too far behind to really catch up, and they didn't. And as a result, Rutgers snapped their 21-game Big Ten losing streak. Spartans defense still did a good job. I mean, they held the Scarlet Knights under 300 total yards, and Spartans were a lot more productive in the second half. However, Spartans were not able to really run the football, and they were somewhat outplayed at times by Rutgers. That's got to be a little bit of a concern to Mel Tucker, as well as a lot of the players on that team, to be sure. I believe they will play a better game tomorrow against the Wolverines. I think Mel Tucker's already said that they're going to be ready, and I think they will be a lot more prepared. But that still has got to be a heck of a homecoming, though it wasn't their official homecoming game. But I mean, it's got to be a heck of a home opener, I meant to say, given everything and given the fact there were no fans. Also, the other thing I want to comment on related to that is Lisa Byington and Matt Millen were the broadcasters for the game. Lisa Byington, I don't know how long she's been broadcasting for. And for those of you who don't know, and I wasn't familiar with who she was exactly, is a Northwestern graduate. She was sitting there pretty much mocking the Spartans, laughing after every turnover and the like, which I found to be absolutely deplorable and disgusting. And furthermore, I question Lisa Byington's college football knowledge. However, if she has any degree of the history of college football, I think she would realize how Northwestern's football team was prior, especially to the 90s, let's say. And even in the early 90s, they still weren't great. But obviously, since about 1995, they've improved greatly. But still, for her as a broadcaster to mock anybody like she did with her laughter is disgusting. And if you're out there listening to this show, Lisa, I invite you to come on Sports with Ed. I'd love to talk to you about it. I'd certainly have plenty of questions for you if you're prepared to answer them, because that's sure the way it seemed to me. And I'm not attacking you because you're a female. If a guy did that, I would attack him just the same. In the next segment, I'm going to talk about the Wolverines game against the Golden Gophers. Stay tuned to College Recap on Sports with Ed.